Welcome, everyone, to our second edition of EngRes The Gathering, where we get together this phenomenal group of humans across tons of different organizations and teams in the PL network who are working on interesting engineering and research problems and want to share the latest updates and what's new. Here's our agenda for the day. It's a packed agenda, so we're going to be moving quickly. If you would like to follow along with the slides, there's a QR code, so you can add comments and ideas and other questions that you have so that people can follow up afterward. And this is an awesome gathering of folks across the entire R&D pipeline. Engineers, protocol designers, researchers, tool builders, engaged community members, everyone who is getting together to drive breakthroughs in computing to push humanity forward across a ton of different teams and projects. Here's a set of things that we do within the EngRes working group. We're focused on supporting and accelerating engineering and research breakthroughs across the PL network. This is our awesome gathering image of all of you epic warlocks and phenomenal contributors. A quick highlight of some of the recent things that have launched and some of the things that are upcoming. We've had some exciting launches in FVM DeFi space. Both Pyth feeds and Uniswap v3 are live on FVM. We're going to be hearing a little bit more later today about lit protocols, v0 mainnet beta, which is exciting. Station has launched the Voyager module, which is now supporting Filecoin Saturn testing and some other exciting stuff. The latest Phil Plus allocator election round was completed, and there's now 50 new allocators approved. We'll hear about that more as well. And then big congrats to both Danielle and CID Gravity for their recent launches, bringing faster data storage to Filecoin. And then a cool highlight, Orbit DB has launched a V2, which has replaced JS IPFS with Helia, which we're going to get an update on later today as well. Looking into the future, the Data Economy Hackathon is kicking off next week. If you are excited to hack on that, there's lots of prizes and you should jump in and participate. Later next month, the Filecoin Network version 22 Dragon is launching to mainnet on March 26th. We also have some exciting stuff coming later this month with the first IPC L2 launching later here, building on top of Filecoin. So that's very exciting. First days, we'll tell you more about that later in the month. There's lots of work happening right now on Filecoin fast finality so that we can have fast cross-chain bridging and fast transactions landing in Filecoin. There's going to be a good track on this in the FilDev Summit as well. So get excited. That's on track for early Q2. And then we have ETHDenver coming up, and we're going to get a couple of deep dives into the amazing events happening there so we can get together as a community. Next slide. There we go. Highlight some of those upcoming PL Network events. If you go to events.plnetwork.io, you'll get a great list of all of these things in either calendar or list view. A couple to highlight. There's a FilDev Summit happening at ETHDenver. There's a DSA workshop. There's a libp2p day, PL Network meetup. There's a number of other events. We're going to have a whole spotlight on this. But if you have an event that isn't listed on the PL Network directory, please add it so that everyone can be aware of it and sign up to attend because there's lots of stuff happening. Cool. And with that, we're going to transition into project updates, starting with Filecoin, doing a deep dive into some of the latest updates in Filecoin land.
Hello everyone, I am Fatman13, a community contributor to Venus Project. Since this is the first time that Venus Project participates in the Engineering Resources Gathering meeting, I will quickly go through what Venus Project has done in 2023. Venus team has made significant strides in 2023, going from representing 5% to now about 15% of Filecoin Network's total QAP, with expectation to reach 20% very soon, which substantially contributes to client diversity and network security. Venus SP Stack rebranding. In an effort to ease SPs into Venus SP Stack and modularize each Venus SP product, we have rebranded chain service components to Sophon, Venus Cluster to Damocles, and last but not least, Venus Market to Droplet. Onboarding experience has since been streamlined, which brings much more community engagement from both large and small SPs. Production hardened Node as a Service (NAS) with performance enhancements and bug fixes over the year of 2023. Node as a service backed by Solfang, which allows high availability deployment of both Lotus and Venus nodes, and improved authentication system for third-party consumption, not only helps SPs to vastly decrease their OPEX, but also serve as the backbone of many critical Filecoin infrastructure. Supranational proofs. Venus SP stack is the first to incorporate supranational proof into production storage providing system, which allows SPs to enjoy a massive speed boost in computing proofs for P2, C2, Snapdeal, and window post. The lightning-fast proof integration enabled by Damocles' innovative architecture grants many Venus SPs a stellar edge in their storage providing business. Damocles refactoring, based on constructive feedbacks and close engagement from Venus SPs. External processor, configuration manager, window post execution, and Lotus compatibility manager of Damocles have been refactored and improved on to offer an outstanding user experience for SPs to reduce their operation overhead. Retrieval capability improvements for Droplet. A series of improvements has been added to Droplet to enhance its data retrieval capability, including but not limited to HTTP retrieval support, unsealing refactoring, metrics and visualization toolings, and storage deal batching, which again bring top-notch retrieval experiences to clients and help clamp down OPEX and operation overhead for SPs. Lastly, as for 2024, Venus team will continue to support Venus storage provider community, supporting network upgrades and new features / improvements to Venus SP stack. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Venus team. And I hope you're having a wonderful Chinese New Year. I'm going to try and jump over to IPFS. I think our first presenter here is Iroh. Brenden, tell us what's new.
Sure. Thank you, Molly, so much for the chance to talk about Iroh. Yeah, it's been a great kickoff to 2024 for us. We have exactly at least one hockey stick shaped chart to show you on the right here, which is a good indicator of adoption of the protocol for us. And the fun thing about Iroh is like we're here to spread the gospel of content addressing and bring CIDs to more people. And so at this point, Iroh's had some major milestones in terms of its growth. We're now running on more than 200,000 devices, a number of different platforms. We have shipped bindings to Python, Rust, and Swift and Go. Well, it's written in Rust, but it's binds to the other three languages. And we're starting to see some really exciting use cases emerge as people are starting to build on top of Iroh. People are building apps. That's its core intent, but also in the machine learning space for auditability in trainable, particularly when you combine it with RAG. 3D scene syncing, so like 3D graphs being done on distributed rendering pipelines. We've seen some people building on top of Iroh to do that. Data processing, we've been seeing a lot of folks use DuckDB plus a gateway plus Iroh bytes content delivery for sparse querying. That has been really cool to watch. And then the latest one to start enter has been streaming video. We're doing a whole bunch of work now to get lossy packet transmission in quick and figure out how to sort of get a really solid streaming video thing working for a number of users. Coming up, an 014 release, targeted for either tomorrow or early next week. And we have recently launched a hosted service to back up Iroh if you're building on top of it. Check out Iroh.network. That's the high level.
Awesome. Thanks, Brenden. Adin, tell us what's new with Kubo, Helia, and Boxo.
So Shipyard, we work on IPFS and libp2p and measurement things. So on the IPFS side, some fun Helia updates. There's a verified fetch module, which allows you to sort of get data from IPFS in the same way you would with the fetch API in browsers. We're using this in a few places, building sort of a Node.js gateway that looks just like you would in Go or elsewhere for testing and compliance. We have a service worker-based one, so you can sort of do all the validation in the browser. And this will getting plumbed into more tooling as well. On the Kubo side of things, 026 was released, which has sort of names for pins, which has been a long requested feature, along with support. Thank you, Magic from the Filecoin side of the world for making it so you can bundle new sort of kubo binaries easier. Skip down to the Waterworks side of things. There is a trustless gateway, trustless only gateway at the link below, which is sort of something that seems a little easier to rely on in apps that only require that endpoint, because it doesn't have to deal with things like sending people actual JPEGs and all that kind of stuff that can get various parts of the internet all up in a tizzy, and easier Docker images for deployment. And that's it for me.
Awesome. Lidel, tell us about content blocking standards.
Yeah, it's a long time due, and but I think it's good to announce to the community that we more or less have standards for content blocking now. And by standards, we mean two things: specifications and more than one implementation. And we have all those boxes checked. So there's a specification mainly written by Hector with a lot of feedback over the years from folks from Cloudflare and other members of the community. We have a public list which uses this format called bad bits deny list, and it now uses this format. And everyone is free to create their own list, maintain their own list, figure out governance of lists for different purposes. This is main reason why we have a dedicated slide is to raise awareness that this exists. And the support is built in to both Kubo and Rainbow. So you no longer need a separate plugin. It was possible for a while with a plugin. Now it's built in. You just drop a file in a specific place and it works. And it works not only on Gateway, but also on the block store. So you are not only not exposing over HTTP Gateway, but also will not be fetching or providing that content to others.
Woohoo! Long time coming. Congratulations to everyone who's been part of the journey of making this possible and a useful feature. Great that everyone from storage providers to gateway providers and everyone in between has that capability now. All right, over to libp2p updates, starting with Alex for JS libp2p.
Hi, I'm Alex, aching brain on the internet. Going to talk about JS libp2p. So what have we done recently? Well, we shipped libp2p v1. You'll notice from the screenshot here, it was actually back in November. So this hasn't happened recently, but this is actually really great because we haven't shipped v2. So next slide. What we've done is we've said no to breaking changes, no more. We hope we are going to be able to usher in a little bit of stability in the API, let people catch their breath. We've moved very quickly. We fixed a lot of stuff, but really it's time for people to be able to build on top of these things without having to like cry blood every month. We've been reducing the bundle size. So you'll see here, like these are all V1 releases and the bundle size has got, well, actually, this is a very tedious diagram because it's actually the install size. But if it was zoomed in more, you'll be able to see the bundle size is also decreasing. But you can see from the little command line thing that actually, yeah, we've knocked a massive amount off the bundle size. Most of this is through killing off old crypto libraries like Node-Forge and replacing them with much more lightweight, better maintained, much better things. Anyway, what else have we done? Speed, like we've got a lot faster. One thing that happened a while ago was we have these observable HQ benchmarks of all the streaming performance of the different implementations. And you'll see, like, look at that little brown one. That is JS libp2p. It is currently the fastest streaming implementation of libp2p. If you think JavaScript is slow, you are wrong. Turns out networks are slow and everyone is slow. But JS is actually really fast. So if you're not using JS because you think it's slow, that's not true. You should totally get involved and use it. Zoom! JavaScript is fast, finally. Anyway, so zoom to the next one. Next slide. Okay, what else have we done? So we shipped TLS 1.3 handshakes. This is from the dev grants repo, which I dug up a little while ago. Turns out this was from 2019. We shipped it. We shipped TLS security. You should totally use it. It's really good fun, as much fun as any encryption algorithm set is. It's noble because it doesn't it's like, yeah, so it uses TLS 1.3. Tediously, Node doesn't support 0 round trip handshakes, was it? TLS 1.3, which is like the whole reason of using it. But anyway, we're compatible now. So if you want to drop noise for TCP connections and that kind of thing, you can do that. What else? What else? React Native support. We really want to get better at this. Check it out. It totally runs on React Native. Like this is you can't really see it, but it's actually running on my phone right now. You can see it's got a peer ID, it's got some peers. Absolutely incredible. It does have peers. Look, this is connecting via circuit relay, and also connects via TCP. It's great. That's it. Next slide. That's it. Until next time. Bye.
Love it. Epic. Everyone go check out JSLibP2P and the awesome updates there. Speaking of libp2p, Dave, tell us what's new in the community.
Sure. Thanks, Molly. I'm going to try to keep up the 1.5x pace that Alex was trying to do in all of the slides. So let's see. Here's the summary graph of all the developer activity across all of the implementations. You guys can see that the numbers have dropped off quite a bit, but it's starting to tick up now that we're back into February. There's a lot of energy going on across all the libp2p implementations as we lead into libp2p day at ETHDenver. Here are the upcoming community meetings. On the 20th, we got an open community call. Everybody's invited. And then we've got the JS, Go, and Rust libp2p open maintainers calls on the 20th, 22nd, and 27th, respectively. Those are also open to anybody who are interested in those implementations. If you are working on an implementation and you would like to have help organizing a maintainers call to get some more energy into your project, let me know. I'll help you. And so there was a lot that went on in January and the first half of February to get the libp2p community going on a much more effective and faster pace. We have kicked off and announced libp2p day at ETHDenver. There's a link here to the registration page. Everybody is welcome. We're still looking for speakers. There's a link to the forum to submit a talk. We're also looking for sponsors to help offset the costs. So if you'd like to sponsor the event, there's also a link, or you can talk to me. And we have started a libp2p day Telegram group for the event. Among the community improvements, we have a new community calendar that I want to call out because I've had several people say, well, hey, where did the meetings go? They're all on Luma now. And if you want to subscribe to that feed in your existing calendar, there is an iCal link there. If you can't find it, let me know. We have set up chat rooms on all 4 of the major chat platforms. We've always been on Slack, we've always been on Matrix, but we now have Discord and Telegram groups up, and I am working to bridge them all in the best possible way. So pick the platform you like, and you'll see all the messages in all of them very soon. The discussion forums have been organized now. So we have a community-wide discussion forum for community-wide issues, community stuff, that's on discuss.libp2p.io. Cross-cutting technical issues are in the specification forum, and then we have forums for all of the implementations currently. And then over on the engineering updates, I just ran down the list here of all the latest releases and tags that each of these implementations have done and put a date on them. There's a couple of things I want to call out. Go libp2p's version 0.34 is tracking towards release. JS libp2p just had a huge update last week. There was a bunch of things updated as Alex just pointed out. There's some new energy in Python libp2p. I'm working with PackRob to try to revive that. And yeah, Nim libp2p continues to be an active community, and their latest release was right at the end of last year. So if you are involved with a libp2p implementation and you want something highlighted in these talks, let me know and I'll add them. And more importantly, if you want to volunteer to give this update, let me know as well, because I'd like to get a rotation of community people involved. That's it, Molly. Thank you very much. I think I went over 1 minute. But
No worries. Thank you. Thank you. Good stuff in libp2p land. I'll hand it off to the mighty folks from Tableland to tell us what's new there.
We launched Tableland about a couple of years ago, but on this slide, kind of talking about like where we're going now. So Textile is building some experimental protocols, starting with one called Basin, which basically lets you kind of opens up the realm of data to take whether it's coming from like Web 2 systems, file uploads, Postgres, or database streaming, or directly from like even networks, like devices that might be part of a DeepIn network. We're bringing that data into the Web3 realm with the novel caching layer that we're calling the Basin protocol, or part of this like textile network. So you establish like a TTL, time to live, with how long you want that data to be available, but also that information is then replicated to Filecoin for cold storage for that like long-term data availability. So it's like this two-pronged approach, just a different way to store data in Web3. And then we also have some other things that we're experimenting with and we'll be talking about in the near-term future, with like building on top of IPCs, some things about just object storage, but those aren't quite released yet. So just stay tuned for some updates there. But yeah, hopefully that is under the 1 minute mark. Just want to be pretty brief on that.
Awesome. Excited to hear more about Basin. You guys should definitely come tell us more and workshop it along with a lot of other aggregators at the Filecoin Dev Summit. It'll be fun. Over to Ceramic to tell us what's new in Ceramic land.
All right. Hi, everyone. Nice to see all of you. For those who don't know me, I'm Joel, co-founder of 3box Labs, the creators of Ceramic. And if you go to the next slide, I'll have most of my content there. So we've been focused a lot on minimizing the core protocol that is Ceramic and making it essentially into like a self-certifying event synchronization protocol and exposing a minimal event stream API. In doing so, we've been rewriting the core protocol in Rust, which means that we no longer depend on Kubo. The reason we've been minimizing the protocol is that there's been an emerging data ecosystem. There's actually now 2 databases built on Ceramic. One is ComposeDB, which we ourselves maintain. The other one is OrbisDB, which is maintained by a team in a community. There's been a lot of talk recently about points generally in the crypto ecosystem. And there's a lot of activity in a working group building points SDK on Ceramic. So that's something we're pretty excited about. To double click on our re-implementation, one of the reasons we did that is that we needed to build our custom libp protocol to synchronize all these events. And we have a solid benchmarking system set up. Right now, we're hitting around 300 EPS, and that's growing. And Recon is really nice because it allows us to have a really flexible sharding architecture where we can have massive nodes to synchronize a lot of the data in the network down to like small nodes that synchronize only subsets of the network in kind of like a local first approach, but have those nodes, kind of different types of nodes, talk to each other. Looking ahead, we'll be building an on-chain access control system that allows you to define logic on-chain for defining who can write data. And based on that access control, we're also going to enable people to operate nodes privately that don't share data to the entire network. If you want to participate in the discussion, we're doing a lot of public engineering discussions in our forum, so check that out. Thank you.
Awesome. Some questions in chat about Recon. On to our spotlights. Please keep them brief because we've got a lot of them. Starting with Lit Protocol, which did a great job being brief.
Hi, this is David Sneider from Lit Protocol, and I'm delighted to let you know that the V0 mainnet beta of this distributed key management network is now live. So very quickly, we'll review what that means. As mentioned, Lit is a distributed key management network. It's functionally a way to manage secrets without a leader, without a centralized custodian. These secrets can be used for things like encryption and access control, as well as for user wallets and issuing verifiable credentials. And so you can see here that there's a nice list of various things that you can do with this underlying primitive. Feel free to pause and take a look at this. So in terms of how it works, it is defense in depth. 2 fundamental technologies are combined here, which is multi-party computation threshold secret schemes, which is to say key material or secret material is broken up into a bunch of parts, and then all of those parts are running inside of secure encrypted virtualization. And then as a product builder and a developer, the way that you can leverage this distributed virtualized key is through the SDK. You can find out more on litprotocol.com. Thanks so much.
Woohoo! Thank you, David. Josh, tell us more about the new Filecoin infra that Chainsafe is running.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Josh from Chainsafe. I'm the head of infrastructure there, and our team has been cooking up some pretty cool infrastructure so far for Filecoin. We've got some Bootstrap nodes ready and available on mainnet and the calibration network. So those are being implemented this week. We've got a fleet of Lotus miners that are ready actually to provision on Genesis power. We've also got Chainsafe Faucet available now. And I've highlighted kind of our Bootstrap URL structure. This will be our standard going forward. And to note that this is all being powered by Forest. So pretty exciting. We've also got an improved Filecoin snapshot service kind of to complement the existing snapshot service that the Forest team has already provided. And this architecture is kind of outlined on the right with my nice little diagram there. And we're also in the middle of provisioning some archival type nodes so that we can have a lot more available there. And then after that, our plan is to work on some archival Bootstrap nodes just to kind of fill in the gap there for the community. So our goal really is to just be, pillars in the Filecoin community and support. So on that note, we can be reached on the Slack server, the Filecoin Slack server under the FilInfra channel. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Jen, tell us about what's new in FilStor.
Sure. So for those who don't know me, I'm Jen King, formerly known as Jen Bell, and I am the CEO and co-founder of FilStor. FilStor is the artist formerly known as DStore, or the Network Growth Marketing Team, and I'm pleased to announce that I will be co-founding with Mara, who used to run the SP side of things, and this will be all done through PLVS in March. So first of all, FilStor is not a technology company. I know that sounds surprising. It's a customer experience company, and that we just happen to deliver amazing cutting-edge Web3 technologies. Our first go-to-market solution is DStore, the DStore marketplace, and we deliver decentralized storage solutions on Filecoin. Also, I'm just going to go down quickly here. We do not compete with storage providers. I just wanted to put that out there. We provide fair, open marketplace for storage providers. So hit us up, join us, and we'll give you more details there. What I wanted to talk about was this deal, which is the second paid deal we did. And the other one, the first one we did was with Boxfin, and they stored on Seal. And this second one, Hauska, they are storing on Decent. Both of them were startups, and they were looking to innovate and find a really cool way to get to market quickly. And through that, they were curious about Filecoin, and they found us. So all the advantages are listed there. Lots of really cool things, but it's really helping us with our product market fit. And if you're interested in joining us, hit us up on dstore.com.
Woohoo. Awesome to see more clients coming to Filecoin and paying for the storage. Booyah. Danielle, tell us about the 10 billion awesome things happening at ETHDenver.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle DuBravac from Filecoin Foundation, and I'm here to tell you about the community descending upon Denver in 2 weeks. Full list of happenings that I've gathered right there. I'd like to call out the Filecoin booth at DevTopia running February 28th to March 3rd. We'll be announcing booth talks and schedules tomorrow, so that is coming. Dev Summit on Thursday, the 29th. Really great, meaningful, impactful conversations help push Filecoin forward. Dave covered Lib P2P Day, Filecoin Orbit community event Friday night, great talks and demos, Banyan, Tableland, Glyph, and more. PL meetup on the 2nd, and a call to action to add your event if you don't see it listed on that URL listed there. Thank you.
Awesome. Come gather with your favorite humans. Wes, tell us what's new with Ansa.
Hello, I'm Wes Finley, if you don't know me. I'm with the Filecoin TLDR team, which recently nucleated to be Ansa Research. We still use the Filecoin TLDR brand, though, as you can see on this slide. What I wanted to talk about is we're really here to help you connect with your audience. As part of the things we're working on is getting all the great things you're building and milestones, announcements, any sort of registrations out there to the community if it has an association with Filecoin and the ecosystem really cares about it. So I've listed some of the primary channels that we manage to handle this. They're not the only ones, but they're the ones where we get a majority of our job done, which is the Filecoin Twitter handle, the Filecoin TLDR Twitter handle for more DeFi related or long form analysis, Filecoin Telegram for one-to-one conversations and answering questions from the community, and YouTube to host our video content. Isabella Boo also handles our Asia marketing. So there's a lot of channels that are local language channels or WeChat, like on WeChat and other regional specific spaces that she can really help you get messages out if that's the audience that you're trying to reach. So for simple retweet requests, the great way to reach us is just in Slack on the shared PL marketing request channel, which I linked on the slide. For larger announcements, it's great to let us know early, and we can develop sort of a collaborative marketing campaign where we, hit the announcement at the same moment, maybe have multiple pieces together, and even get some page structure behind that so you can really amplify your message. But along with also just helping share what you create, we also create some of our own material. And you can check this out on the right side of the slide, which is the State of Filecoin 2024 analysis that was just released last week. If there's anything in there you want to share, please share it out as wide as possible. There's some great charts, and we really are just trying to, bring enthusiasm, engagement, and share all the great things you're doing for the Filecoin ecosystem. Thank you.
Thanks, Wes. I'm still waiting for that Twitter leaderboard. I want to know where I stand versus folks like Brenden and Claudia.
The
awesome.
graphic, anyway.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Eric, tell us what's up with Drand.
Hi, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Eric Watson. I'm on the Drand team. We run a public randomness solution that powers Filecoin as well as several other customers. For now, highlights working with our League of Entropy peers who run the network that powers Drand. We have a testnet ceremony coming up later this month on February 21st, as well as a mainnet ceremony shortly thereafter on March 13th. What we're really excited about here is that we've made some significant changes to the Drand codebase so that these synchronous ceremonies will no longer need to be synchronous. So that's going to make life a lot easier for folks that are running Drand nodes. So we're very excited about that. One of our key members, Cloudflare, is running a network failover test today. So if anyone experiences any Filecoin related hiccups today that may pertain to this failover test, that would imply that you are exclusively tied to Cloudflare and not to some of the other relays that are out there. So please let me know if anybody has any hiccups from that. We're hoping that nobody notices, but you never know how this has been set up. So it's always good to play it safe. I was also very delighted to learn that we are going to be featured in a forthcoming book by a science author, Alex Bellows, who's a British science author. You can check out some of his work on the link there, which is really very cool. And so he's going to write a book about randomness, which of course is what we're all about. So that's kind of neat. In terms of roadmap updates, we're very delighted to report that Fuzzing Labs has completed their Drand codebase analysis, and they did find one critical bug as well as several other minor bugs. We're going to be publishing their report as soon as all those bugs have been remediated and tested, which is ongoing. And we're very pleased to thank the Filecoin Foundation and Danielle's team for their generous support, which allowed us to underwrite the Fuzzing Labs fuzzing tests. We've got a new proof of concept authenticated API, so that's leading into sort of more paid offerings in the future. We were also finished a cost-cutting exercise here within Protocol Labs. We reduced Drand's weekly costs by about 70%, so we're very pleased with that. And then we have a bunch of nucleation-related announcements forthcoming in the next couple of weeks at ETHDenver. So we hope to see some of you at ETHDenver and the File Dev Summit that's there. Also on the KPI side, we still maintain 100% uptime for all of our networks, which we're very delighted with. We did change our Grafana instance in January, so we did have a little bit of a break in a transition from the previous instance to the new instance. So we had to do a little manual arithmetic there to figure out how many requests we had in the month of January, but it's about 1.2 billion. So we're on track for continuing with very strong user demand. And that's it for Drand. So thanks so much.
Awesome. Glyph, tell us what's new with you as well.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm Jonathan Schwartz. I'm one of the co-founders of Glyph. This slide is a good update of kind of like all the things recently that have been going on. And also just in case you haven't heard of Glyph, the Glyph has been around since, pre-mainnet days for Filecoin, building a lot of the critical apps and tools for the network. Right now, our most popular is probably the DeFi protocol that just came out. And for this minute, or probably now 30 seconds left, I want to hone in on the top left bullet point, which is the capital efficiency improvements. We made a massive engineering breakthrough on our side, which is basically a really precise and very performant way to compute what you would call like a liquidation value of a storage provider, which means like in the context of DeFi, if a storage provider has borrowed some Filecoin from a protocol and unfortunately they stop paying or they misbehave and they need to be liquidated, the protocol now has a very, very precise mechanism for computing how much Filecoin will be left, which is a very important risk parameter in Filecoin capital markets. So that was a big breakthrough and something we've been working on for a long time. But a lot of other exciting updates that have come to Glyph. So hit me up on Slack or Telegram or wherever if you want to hear more. Thanks.
Woohoo! And you have an exciting update coming later in Q1. We'll bring you back on for that later. Marta, tell us what's new in Filecoin Plus land.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marta Piekarska. I guess most of you don't know me because I just recently joined as the executive director of a new entity called FIDL, Filecoin Incentive Design Labs. And I'll be presenting what's new in Filecoin Plus. So we are moving from a notary system to an allocator program. I think Galen has introduced that last month during the last meeting. And we are looking at having this idea of having multiple level of allocators and all the allocators kind of dropping down in a tree. We, so far, run the first allocator election round that finished on 6th of February. We received 97 applications. Out of those, about 50 were accepted. The scoring was done by the Filecoin Foundation and the governance team there. And we also have a track at the Phil Dev Summit on 29th of February. Detailed agenda is coming soon, but we really want to connect with the community and with everyone to hear how can we make the program better. Our entity will be mostly focused on building tooling and dashboards and metrics for Filecoin Plus program. So we are one of the allocators. We are not the governance team. We are one of the allocators, but also really providing the insights into the Filecoin Plus program. Thank you.
Awesome. Excited to learn more in Denver. All right, Peter, tell us about IPDX.
Hello, I'm Peter. I'm the founder of IPDX. We handle CI and tooling so that your developers can focus on your products. So we are your friendly developer experience consultancy, and we can work with you either continuously or concentrate on a specific project, but it's all up to you. January was a particularly exciting month for us. We got to start working with exciting clients on IPFS, Filecoin, like P2P, as we used to for the past couple of years. But also we started working with a surprisingly large amount of Internet of Things projects. We are developer productivity experts, and we work across stacks and technologies from Docker, Rust, through React, all the way to native apps on iOS and Android. You name it, we definitely can do it, especially if it's on GitHub. And just last month, we managed to speed up Rust CI, for example, for one of our clients over 3 times. We also get to automate publishing to places like Play and App Store, which was really fun. We're also great at exploring all your CI options like Circle CI, GitHub Actions, all the new kids in town too. But by far our biggest accomplishment last month was speeding up one of our clients' Docker-based workflows, and we managed to speed that process up over 30 times. So please do reach out if you want to hear more about that one. We'd love to do things like that for you. And so, please have a look at the unique offer that we prepared specifically for the amazing PL network. And after you do that, please go ahead and just schedule an intro call with Doron and I. You can find us at meet.ipdx.go. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much. And I really hope to talk to you about your CI and tooling very soon.
Woohoo! Thanks, Peter. Can +1 it. Over to our demos and deep dives. We have about 12 minutes left, and so we're going to go through these efficiently, starting with the upcoming feature that's in NV22 around direct data onboarding in Filecoin.
Hi, I'm Rod, and I'm here to talk about direct data onboarding, otherwise known as DDO. I'm going to be assisted today by DALL-E, which I have educated on DDO. Lots of information, and it's going to give us different art styles for each slide, contextualized to that slide. So I hope you're entertained. So direct data onboarding. Filecoin is a decentralized storage market, but it has a singular market mechanism, the built-in market actor. Direct data onboarding, which is FIP 76, is the next step in unlocking a marketplace of markets. So not just one market, but a marketplace of markets. Coming soon in NV22. So DDO is unlocking the next level of this evolution. The current built-in market works. It works fine. It does work. Everyone's using it. But it's gas expensive. It's state wasteful. It's inflexible. There's only one notion of what a deal is. And we could do better on SP OPEX with it. But there's a lot of shepherding of sectors and pieces to get them into place. And we think we can do better than that. The FVM will soon enable user-programmed smart contract mediated storage markets. This is where we're heading to, and DDO gets us right up to the line with this. No more one-size-fits-all market. There'll be you'll be able to do instant deals, very long deals, fill and other payment options, integrated with data cap allocators, integrated with additional workflows like data DAOs, special purpose markets, gated markets, all sorts of things that suit different relationships between clients and SPs. So basics of DDO. So DDO is additive. It's not replacing the existing workflows. This is an addition, so you can still do deals with the built-in market actor today. In fact, DDO will also interact with the built-in market actor if you wanted to. So you don't. This is not being forced on people, but it is an additional unlock. Publishing deal information to the market actor will be optional with DDO, obviously. But a pre-commit will contain only the data commitment, and then a proof commit is where all the information gets loaded in. So that'll have data cap claims for pieces. It will have actors to notify about pieces. That's the interesting bit, because currently that will be for market actor interacting deals. There'll be F05 put in there. For smart contracts, that's where we'll be able to put smart contract addresses in there. That's currently limited to only F05, but that it'll change will unlock user-programmed storage markets. So we're really close. Data cap allocations do become the client responsibility. I'll talk more about that later. But we do get to 5-year data cap terms. DDO costs. One of the big activities here, we are reducing costs. The built-in market actor is quite expensive and consumes the most gas of any built-in actor at the moment. With a DDO workflow onboarding the same data, we're estimating that with Fill Plus data, that it will be roughly 43% of the cost of onboarding that same data with DDO versus the market actor. With non-Fill Plus data, we're getting as low as 14% gas of the current equivalent with the built-in market actor. For the storage provider, how did this look? Well, you can still accept deals through the built-in market actor. You don't have to opt for DDO. This is an optional workflow. But if you do, then it should be better for gas. It should help with OPEX by simplifying things. Boost will have support. If you scan the QR code there, you'll see a bunch of links about DDO, and one of them is a video talk by Anton that's demonstrating the new Boost feature that's coming up. They'll be wanting feedback for that too. It's fairly basic as it is, but it could be made more interesting with feedback from users. For the client, as I said, data cap must be allocated by the client, so that's a message on chain to allocate to a provider for a piece. But it does unlock 5-year term maxes, even those sectors only max out at 3.5 years, because you can allocate for your piece and provider, and they can take advantage of renewing that by renewing the sector without interacting with you. But there's also this delegate to operator mechanism, so that could involve Fill Plus allocators, it could involve smart contracts, other creative opportunities here. And there's more opportunities to reduce the cost and complexity of this that we can take advantage of. Tooling is underway. Singularity is going to have this integrated. If you're using Singularity, go check that out. Ultimately, this is about choice for clients and SPs. You'll be able to mediate however you want to get your data onto Filecoin. You can do different types of payments, different price points. You'll be able to optimize for your different incentives, etc. For the observer, this is where it gets a bit interesting, because now the built-in market actor will continue to track everything it tracks with regard to its mediated deals, but there'll be a pathway to onboarding data that goes around the market actor that you'll need to tune into. The verified registry actor will be the source of truth for all Fil Plus pieces. So all the data cap claims will live in there. You'll be able to see all the piece information from there. So you should be using that for data cap information. Messages are the place one of the places where you'll be able to see information about all pieces, regardless of data cap or not. So the messages will come with that information. There's also a new API that's going into Lotus to observe some new events that are coming out of built-in actors, which are coming along with this new network version. They're similar to what's available in the FEVM now, but built-in actors can do this. The first batch is related to deal, sector, and data cap life cycles, but more will be added later. You can subscribe to these events via the Lotus API, or you can look at them historically. They'll also be attached to message receipts if you're using things that way. Here's an example of a set of messages, events, that are coming out for onboarding some data with DDO using DataCap. So the first one's a client allocating a piece to a provider. It has the allocation ID you can look up in the state there. The next three are from the SP. There's a pre-commitment, and then the last two there are resulting from the same message, which is the sector commitment that has all the piece information down the bottom there, regardless of whether it's data cap or not. And then for each piece that is data cap, there will be an equivalent claim that you can then also look up in the verified registry actor. These events do actually unlock new possibilities too. You'll be able to observe from outside the chain and react. So doing things like repair and doing replicas on as things happen, and potentially perpetual storage by having this real-time observability. So lots of potential there. And with we could add new events that do interesting things with accounts or other things in the built-in actors. So events are relatively cheap to add, but they should require a FIP for built-in actors. But make proposals and see how we go. In summary, here's what you need to tune into for observability, these sources of truth. Built-in market actor state will have all the information. Verified actor state will have all the data cap stuff. Messages will have everything, all the piece information, and after events as well will have that as well. So there's my QR code. There's a whole lot more links on there. Catch me on Slack, or anyone else that's involved in the Lotus team should be able to tell you about what's going on. And that's me.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Rod. That was an awesome deep dive and lots of opportunity for folks to build on and with as well. Okay, moving on. CID Gravity V2, Julian.
Woo. Hi everyone. So this is an update and demo of CID Gravity V2, so including our deal matching engine and the client onboarding features that we recently developed. So just let's start with those who don't know about CID Gravity V1. So we manage 40 million transactions since we launched the product. So it's 360 PIB of QAP that are currently live on the network. And we have roughly 200 miners through all the different regions using CID Gravity today. So V1 was mainly focusing on providing to SP a solution to manage client data onboarding, which means we give them the ability to define acceptance criteria, pricing, based on deal types, size, transfer type, and all the different deals features. And we also add them to control their ingress and seeding pipeline usage by client prioritization and the workload and the time of the day, or many things actually that make their day-to-day. CID Gravity also allows to manage the retrieval, and we provide this through a neat web UI with dashboards and everything they can see what's happening. Next slide, please. So the main driver for V2 was to accelerate the Filecoin adoption for on-ramp and enterprise clients. So by simplifying the integration with Filecoin, find reliable storage providers, increasing the right first time onboarding rate. I will come on that later on, but we measure that it's roughly 19% when you just spot storage providers and you try to onboard data to them. And now we reach something very close to 100% with the new features we provide. We want to provide automatic data cap allocation. This is reducing the infrastructure costs. We have real-time deal tracking. I will also come back to that. And everything is very easy to integrate. Actually, this is RESTful API. So when you have an existing stack, it's just a few calls just to add to your stack and to leverage CID gravity. Two key principles that we want to keep. So it's to keep the deal making between the client and the storage providers. So CID gravity is just there for the deal matching, but the data and the deal making still flow between the client and the storage provider. And we want to promote online deals. Next slide. So what you see here is like, so we provide REST API and dashboard for clients and on-ramp. So client, they can track their data during onboarding and on-chain lifecycle, let's say. And for client interacting with the chain and on-ramp, we provide simple API to get the next available storage provider available. The two things that are remaining that is not developed yet is the capacity to reserve some space in the seeding pipeline of the storage provider and the automatic data cap allocation. That because we just became a data allocator was last week, so this is not developed yet. Next slide, please. Yeah, so very quickly, how does it work? So the data onboarding workflow is quite simple. You create an account on CID Gravity as a client. You just claim your ownership in CID Gravity by signing a small challenge, and then you get an API key. That is what you need just to call our APIs. And when you just want to onboard data, what you do is like you just call our best available provider endpoint. And what this is doing actually, it check which SP want to accept this type of deals. And then you do the full health check of this across. So it's checking the real-time availability of the storage provider, verifying if there is enough seeding capacity in the seeding pipeline, and anything that you need just to your deal just to be accepted, downloading and going through. And this is done toward your specific client address, let's say. So you may work very well with like storage providers that are very next to you, and this could be completely different from any other clients, depending on where they are and which prioritization they have with these SPs. And then the API is just giving you 3 providers to use. We'll also check if they already store your this PCID. So we just give you new ones. Yeah, so that's what we do. All the documentation is available through this docs.cidgravity.com. And if I can do just a quick demo of the dashboard, if you give me just 1 minute. Yeah, sure. So this is actually a live client. This is on mainnet. What you see as a client when you after you just claim your ownership on address, you see that, so you can see how much data are waiting to be published, how much data are under seeding, how much data you onboard, and so on. You can see here that on this data set we have like almost 5 copies, and this is spread through 32 different storage providers. And then what you can see here is like how you perform. So this is on 24 hours, but you can see how much data you have in different stages. What's your average seeding pipeline, and the full time to onboard the data, so including the download. And you can see per storage providers how you personally perform. So how much they spend to how much success rate you have for the staging, the seeding, the proving, and so on. And this is the KPI we use after that, just to give you the best provider toward you. There is like dozens of dashboards you can go through. I won't go through all of that right now, but that's very easy to use. You just connect. You don't have to use CID Gravity actually to get access to all these data before. like because we index all the chain, so you get access to all this data anyway, even if there is no data onboarding with CID Gravity right now. Yep, and then you can get access to the documentation. You click here, and yeah, so that's a very basic, common, let's say, documentation for API. So you've got examples, you have Open API, JSON, and so on. And the last slide. Can show the last slide. Yep. So the last slide, we index the chain, so we index the state market deals, and we then expose that to anyone just to use it as well if they need. So instead of downloading the state market deals, which is this huge file usually people download on S3 or just calling this API endpoint, we index all of this, so it's blazing fast. Is below 600 milliseconds just to get all the deals you have on chain. We keep track of the previous deals, even they are not on chain anymore. We get that information, so we just share it. And we enhance it with additional information. So like we we provide a very easy to use status of the deal. So you know if it's published, expired, active, slashed, and so on. And we keep track of the main event that happened to a deal, so published, start, and termination. So that helps you just to consume that service and give you like a direct status of where is your deals. I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julian. We have another very quick update from the Lava network. Take it away and we'll wrap up soon.
So hello, everybody. I'm Kagemni Karimu. I'm the developer relations engineer for Lava. Really excited to speak here. Sorry for the late hour, so I'll try and keep it very, very quick. The main thing that we wanted to share is that Lava is modular. Lava is built as application-specific layer 1. It's a proof-of-stake blockchain based on Cosmos SDK. And the main thing to understand is that we have specs or specifications. These are Web3 primitive, and they're essentially modules which define APIs. So if you are familiar with Lava, or if you've heard about Lava, many people associate it with RPC. Think about RPC providers, RPC nodes in various networks, and how there's a need to find RPC nodes, whereas Lava allows you to basically aggregate, use, efficiently route to a variety of different RPC nodes within a network or ecosystem. So for Filecoin, there's the FVM spec, which is implemented on Lava, and it's defines the APIs which are supported in Lava. So specs mean that the network can permissionlessly and quickly add support for Filecoin APIs. If you look here, you see this tree structure format. What this is trying to show you is basically that specs are JSON files, and they define those chain and method requirements, the cost, the verifications, number of other configurations of whatever service is being provided on Lava. It's so easy to get caught into thinking about specs purely in terms of RPC, because that's the first thing and the primary thing that Lava currently offers. But what I want everyone to do is to think of some less intuitive examples of how data can be provided in a decentralized network where payment is rewards are given to providers of that data. So we have specs which define this basic requirements for the providers to provide data. And then we have additional methods like add-ons. So if there are additional APIs that are not mandatory that you would want a provider to support, such as debug, you can also add that on additionally. And then the providers who service those additional APIs get bonuses. So extensions is another thing, and that is, as opposed to add-ons, it's an enhancement of the existing methods. So archival support being a great example, because not everyone's going to run an archive node. And for those who do run an archive node, traffic is intelligently routed through the network to those nodes when someone hits the endpoint looking for archive node data. So basically, you can think of specs as this modular plugin that allows Lava to support any type of API, not just any type of chain, any type of API. So you see with the imagery, with the blocks dropping in, the different pieces of the ecosystems falling into place, so that there's this tapestry that a Filecoin developer or someone who's using FVM or someone who's just generally trying to build a cross-chain interoperable application can pull data from all these different sources using a single simplified interface. With that, I'd like to show a little bit about the specs that I spoke about, because it's a little theoretical. So I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. This is the cookbook, the Lava cookbook. And what it shows is just these are different specs which have been implemented. I'm showing the Ethereum spec right now. So basically what it is, this JSON file, you see it has an index, which is what it will be referenced in all the different places where it's referenced as. That's like the official moniker, similar to a chain ID. And then you have all these different fields, which we don't have time to get into. But the main thing is the API collections are defined here. So you see that there's a series of APIs that show which APIs will be supported. These are the APIs that a consumer can contact on network and that a provider must respond to. These are mandatory for the provider to support. In addition to that, you also have add-ons, which if I can just quickly, you can see this is a debug add-on. So there's also debug. This is an optional API that some providers support on the network. And then there's also archive. So there's extensions. So people do archive. So really cool thing. If I click FVM, which is one of our specs, Filecoin virtual machine, you'll see that it imports the Ethereum spec that I just showed you. So there's no need, if you're proposing a new spec, let's say you're developing something that builds on FVM or creating a dApp, there's no need to write a spec from scratch. You can import most of the methods from existing specs. IBC is supported, Cosmos SDK is supported, a number of other ones, if you can see in this column, are already supported. So you can either base it on an existing spec or directly import methods from an existing spec and build it up. We have a nice reference guide in the docs. And then finally, we also have a spec proposal guide, which gives you a step-by-step walkthrough on how to build out one of these specs. It's really quite simple. Once it's done, it can be proposed on chain, tested, and then proposed on chain and accepted. So it's a democratic, decentralized way to add modular components to the blockchain and build a Web3 infrastructure.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Epic. With that, we are just going to wrap up. Thank you all so much for attending. If you would like to present at the next EngRes The Gathering next month, please get in touch. We would love to have you there. And don't wait for the future to happen. Keep building amazing things and build it together. See you all very soon. Cheers.